Today I'm going to be doing a video on what I eat in a day series, and so I am starting off this morning. I have already done my arms workout and so I'm back home and it's time to start, going through the day of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I actually started off before I had my workout with one of these energy drink mixes. It's only 10 calories. It says it's 60 milligrams of caffeine, 0 sugar. I usually take one of these to work out, and I do have a small cup of coffee, but I try not to eat before I do my workout just because it's so much strength training that, I don't want to end up with a stomach ache because I'm, working that stomach area. So I'm going to start off today. I need to get out of here like in 15 minutes. So I'm going to start off with a bowl of cereal. Don't judge me. I'm having plain old cornflakes. But what I'm going to do to pump up the protein is I'm going to add one of these Oikos protein shakes. They're 30 grams of protein. They're 1 gram of sugar. They actually have 5 grams of prebiotic fiber and no artificial sweeteners. So I'm going to add this to my cereal and I'm going to be on my way. This is not a lot of work, but I do measure it. I use a 1 cup measuring cup just to make sure I'm not overdoing the cereal part. And it also helps you to be able to see exactly, how many calories and everything you're getting if you measure. If you get used to measuring, I think this is a great way to kind of watch your weight. So I just pour in like 3/4 of my shake and then I drink the rest of it while I'm eating. So this is breakfast today. I am on my way out in a few minutes. I'll see you at lunch. So for today's lunch, I am going to be making something very, very special. It's one of my favorite dishes and it's so simple. You are probably going to want to make this today. So I stopped at my local farm because I don't have any Swiss chard growing yet. I will in about a month or two. But anyway, I picked up this beautiful, freshly picked Swiss chard for today. And I am making a Swiss chard pie. Now this is going to be not only healthy, but it's also going to be very slimming meal because it's beautiful vegetables. How pretty those are. And they're all different colors. I've got yellow and red and orange, all different colors of the rainbow, which is really good when you're trying to stay healthy and live to be 150. So I actually take out the stems while I'm cleaning them, and it's super easy. You just kind of run your fingers along the bottom of the stem, just like that, pulls it off. Now I use the stems when I cook them too. So I'm gonna leave those separate. I usually use the larger stems. These are all kind of small Swiss chards, so they're gonna be really good and really tender. So all I'm gonna do right now is just clean my Swiss chard. And I'm gonna show you how I get this done. Now these little ones, I'm not gonna do anything to them, but looks like they had a couple little extra plants come in here. I don't know what that is. But anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the tops off these Swiss chard. Now the way I do this is a little different than some people. I like to do about 3/4 of my Swiss chard. I like to kind of cook it up in a pan. And then I take about 1/4 of it that's left over and I put it in, I chop it raw. And that way you just have kind of that crunchy taste, but you've also got that really, well cooked, so it's not so watery like you get sometimes when you cook up vegetables. And then I'm gonna go ahead and clean this really good. All right, I'm gonna start heating up my pan on medium, and I'm gonna put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in here. I'm just gonna set this up a few minutes till I get all of this Swiss chard chopped up. So it's all been cleaned. I actually ran it through my my salad spinner. That's it. So all I'm gonna do is get all of this Swiss chard, just kind of roughly chopped. Now, this is going to cook down to about half, so don't be afraid to use a good portion of your Swiss chard. Swiss chard is really good for you, and if you've never had it, it's got this really kind of a, I don't even know how to describe it. It's got kind of a salty flavor. I don't know, it's just really, really good. It's one of my favorite greens. And when it's in season, I try to make it as often as I can. This is super simple, and it lasts in your refrigerator a while, so it's one of those really good ones to have on hand. All right, so I'm gonna put some onions, some chopped onions inside of this. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't have any specific ingredients, like amounts and that kind of thing. I just make this based on what I like. So I guess I'd say maybe a half a cup of onions. We're gonna put in with the olive oil, and we're gonna get those cooking first. All right, now that my onions are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and add my greens to this. And real quickly, I'm gonna chop up my stems. Now you rough chop them any way you like. I like them in about maybe 1/4 to a 1/2 inch pieces. Now at this point, if you wanted to add mushrooms or peppers or whatever it is that you like in your casseroles, even if you wanted to add some meat, you could add meat after this is all cooked down. And this just kind of cooks out the water. I really have found that if I can cook a good portion of this Swiss chard up ahead of time, look at this. It's already wilting down to like almost nothing. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just cook all of this Swiss chard up. I wasn't going to, but I realized there's a lot of Swiss chard. I wanted to have a nice small Swiss chard casserole, so I'm not gonna worry about it being as crunchy today. So we're gonna cook all this down until it's a nice texture. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper and garlic. Some freshly cracked pepper. Got some salt. I've got some of my homestead patch herbs that I dehydrate. These are out of my herb garden. And I've got some garlic powder. All right, ooh, that smells lovely. Now we don't want it to cook all the way up, even with the stems in it, because we're also gonna bake it for about a 1/2 hour, maybe 40 minutes. And so this is gonna continue to cook in the oven. All right, so I take an 8x8 pan and I spray it with some cooking spray. And all I do is pour this into the pan. Now I'm gonna have to let it cool a little bit just because I've got some eggs that I'm gonna be adding to this. So there you go. Look at how much that whole thing of Swiss chard cooked down. It's really amazing to me. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 4 eggs. I'm gonna whip these up. Now I like to add evaporated milk to mine. You can add regular milk if that's what you prefer. And I put in about 1/2 of the can. I may end up putting the whole can in. I just need to see after I get all this put together how much it makes. Seems like every time it's different. I don't know why. All right, now I'm gonna put in about 1 cup of cheddar cheese. Now this is a sharp cheddar. Now I'm gonna stir all this in right in the pan, so that's how this is gonna look. And then I'm gonna do something a little different. In the past, I would use Ritz crackers or saltine crackers to add to this. I'm not doing that because of my diet. Instead, I'm gonna add something that probably you haven't tried before in a casserole. And those are the Wassa crisp bread. I use the sourdough, but they have rye, they have wheat, they have all kinds of flavors. These are so great. They're 35 calories per slice, and they're huge. 9 grams of carbohydrate And you know what? You even get a gram of protein thrown in there. So I'm gonna start off with 2 of these. Look how big these are. And there you go. I'm gonna throw these in the casserole just like they are. And then I'll see if I need to add another one or not. We're gonna add our egg and milk mixture right over the top. Let me give this a little stir and see if we want to put another cracker or 2 in there. Make sure you get all the green in all the corners. And you can see this is kind of making like a quiche texture. I'm going to add a little bit more milk to mine. And now I'm going to put a very small amount of cheese right over the top. I mean like a tablespoon, not very much. It's got a lot of cheese inside of it. But I'm going to put this in a preheated oven right now for about a half an hour. I'll check it. It needs to be kind of firm because we're going to cut it later. And I'll bring you back when it's all done. This is my beautiful casserole. I am so excited to have that for lunch. I decided I'm not going to put any feta cheese over it. I want to just be able to really taste the Swiss chard. And so that is how it came out. So it's actually time to start dinner, and lo and behold, my sink is backed up in the kitchen. So thankfully I already got that Swiss chard casserole cooked for lunch because I don't know. Things just seem to happen sometimes. So I had planned to have some air fryer chicken, which I'm going to make. I prefer to make it without these paper liners, but because I'm probably gonna have to let this soak until tomorrow, the plumber can't come until the morning. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and make this air fryer chicken. I had some other things in mind that I was gonna make for dinner for my sides. I'm not gonna be cooking any of that. Probably have some fresh strawberries that I bought on the farm. I have a prepackaged salad mix, which I think I'm gonna be making. That'll be easy. And then we can just kind of put everything else in the dishwasher tonight. So it kind of saved the day. So I make this nacho cheese seasoning. This is a recipe from the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook. Although I'm not actively following Trim Healthy Mama right now, I am on the Anatoly Fit program. I still use a lot of their things. They're great. So anyway, I used up all that I have, and it is so delicious. I love this nacho cheese flavoring. So I am setting my air fryer to 400. I'm gonna do the first side for about 15 minutes. And let me show you how my chicken looks after I put this nacho seasoning on. So this is it right here. I'm just gonna kind of dump it in here. I just kind of throw everything in kind of a bag and try to get it coated the best that I can. So I've got 2 thighs, 2 legs, and 2 wings. So that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and get my air fryer started. And this seasoning has everything in it. You don't need to salt and pepper anything. You just put it right in like it is. Now I would have actually waited until tomorrow, but I thawed these out in the refrigerator yesterday, and I just don't like to leave, you know, chicken, even in the refrigerator, I don't like to leave it raw in there more than 1 day. So anyway, we're gonna cook it up, and I will make this work tonight. Well, I was looking through my freezer, and I actually found some of these asparagus spears that I bought, and I can steam them in the microwave. So I don't have to mess up a pan or anything. So I'm gonna be having asparagus with the chicken. I'm also gonna be having some sugar-free Jell-O with a little bit of fat-free cottage cheese on it with the Swiss chard casserole. So let's see how this comes out. So this is how my chicken looks the first turn. I'm just gonna turn this all around, and I'm gonna cook it on the other side as well. This will finished cooking the chicken. Now we may have to turn it again depending, there are bones in this, so because of that, it does take a little bit longer to cook in the air fryer. I'm just gonna give it another quick spray, and I'll put this in for another 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna wait about 10 minutes, and I'm gonna put my asparagus in the microwave. So my chicken got completely cooked. I've got my Jell-O and cottage cheese, my vegetables, and in the middle of getting that done, our plumber came and was able to fix the sink. So it's been a great day, but let me show you how everything came out. So there you go. There's dinner tonight. Nice, healthy, and air fryer. I'm gonna link the description below, the nacho cheese flavoring that goes over the chicken, and I'll let you know how that, I'll let you know the recipe for that in the description below. So thanks for joining me today in What I Eat in a Day, and I appreciate you following me along all day. And if this looks like something you'd like to try, I'm gonna go ahead and link as much of the information down below, how to make the Swiss chard casserole, and all the rest of it's pretty simple. Just, you know, season up your chicken and throw it in the air fryer. I ended up having to change my paper in the air fryer because it did seem like it was getting kind of moist, and I wanted my chicken to stay more dry. So anyway, if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.